Good evening. This is Brett Provenzano from the Fairport Central School District. I'm Superintendent of Schools. To my left, I have Assistant Superintendent for Business, Matt Stevens. To my right, I have Board of Education President, Erica Bellis-Pacer. We're here tonight to have a community budget forum. We have a number of board members here who are in the audience, and they're very invested and interested to hear what we can learn and glean from the very early phases of our budget process. Again, thank you for tuning in. As we go through the budget process, it's always a priority to find meaningful ways to collect data to inform the budget process. That is what this forum is about, and it will be living on our YouTube channel for the next several weeks. The budget development process starts early in the summer with behind-the-scenes work, and it picks up speed at this time of the year. It is very early in the process, and a lot of people are not actually speaking or thinking about budget, but we are here in Fairport Central Schools. We're always looking for stakeholder input as the budget process begins to take shape. If you have questions at this point in the process, please feel free to submit them to us, and we will use them to shape our messaging. There's a link to a Google form where you could submit your questions. The link is in the description of the live stream on YouTube. And again, this video will be up, and we will periodically be checking the Google form, and we'll use the questions that we get from this link to inform our budget process and make it part of our Q&As as we move through the budget process. But we're building a budget. It starts early. I'm really proud of the fact that our Board of Education starts early and talks about the budget all throughout the year. And early on, I believe in October, the board created and endorsed these budget goals for 2024-25. The first one is to prioritize the district school improvement initiatives, including developing universal pre-K programming. We're very excited about the early stages of our Fairport programming, and the board wants to continue to build upon it as part of the 24-25 budget. Allocate resources to support and maximize student learning. We often call this multi-tiered systems of supports academically and social emotionally that are geared towards helping students achieve success. It's really interesting, as you'll find out, that many of our community members, we had a great turnout in our thought exchange, prioritize the same exact budget goals. So there's alignment there as well. Providing equitable access to student-centered and whole child programming. It's a hallmark trait of our incredible school district. Students have access to so many great opportunities to connect them to their experiences, to connect them to the classroom and beyond. In Fairport, the board has and will continue to prioritize that for 2024-25. The board is prioritizing keeping long-term fiscal sustainability at the forefront of the budget process. Always being transparent, keeping fiscal responsibility at the forefront of everything that we do here, so we can create real value in our schools, and our community can be proud of our schools and see the value in our schools. Always maintaining a strong financial position, and that would include preserving the district's strong bond rating. These are things that we want to keep in mind as we budget for today and for the future. And a very important part of the last few budgets that the board has supported included investing in modern and environmentally sustainable and safe facilities. That is making sure that we have environments that are conducive to the expansive programming, making sure that we have fiscal resources to support the modernization and upkeep of our district facilities. And that would include managing our reserves, which will be an ongoing conversation, not just tonight, but throughout the budget process. Recently, the Governor Hochul, shared her executive budget, and Assistant Superintendent Matt Stevens will be speaking to that at this point.
Okay, thank you and good evening. So here up on the screen, you'll see a couple of highlights from the governor's executive budget proposal and what it means for school districts across the state and Fairport. So overall, the state aid proposal for schools calls for an $825 million increase to school aid in 24-25. It's about a 2.4% increase. Of that $825 million, $507 million is related to foundation aid. Again, foundation aid is the general operating aid that school districts receive from the state. It's about a 2.1% increase in the proposed foundation aid increase for 24-25. A couple of key factors in the foundation aid formula in the proposal that the governor is proposing overall is, one, reducing the inflationary factor. That's a key piece to the formula. She's proposing to reduce it from approximately 4% of what law would drive down to just under 2.5%. This would result in about a $215 million reduction in the increase that schools would have seen in 2024-25. Also going to impact future year projected increases. Another proposal is to eliminate safe harmless. This is related to schools that are receiving more than the formula currently generates. There was a safe harmless clause in current law. Right now, this doesn't impact Fairport as we receive the fully funding for foundation aid, and next year is actually projected to increase foundation aid by about 151,000, just about 0.5% over our current foundation aid. Expense-based aids, the governor's proposing to fully fund these aids according to the formula. These are state aids that school districts receive based on expenses in the prior year. For example, transportation aid, BOCES aid, building aid, high cost aid, etc. And here, based on projected expenses for the current year, it's about a $468,000 projected increase for Fairport in the following school year. So that's a quick summary of the governor's budget proposal and what that means for Fairport. A couple other factors as we're looking to plan for 2024-25 are the federal funding streams. So if you remember, school districts received some federal stimulus funding related to COVID and helping out learning loss and schools to continue to recover from COVID itself. And the funding stream that is ending in September of 2024 is the American Rescue Plan funding. Fairport and school districts also received CRSA funding, which is coronavirus recovery funding, and that ended in September of 2023. So the allocation for the ARP funding for Fairport was about $4.2 million. That's been spent over the past couple of years, and with more funds to be spent in the current year, and it helps support literacy math specialists, ELA, science, social studies, music, phys ed, technology teachers, among other items you can see up on the screen. Helped us really provide the supports for our students over the past couple of years as we eased out of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's something as we'll keep in mind here in building the 2024-25 budget, that funding stream is coming to an end for school districts in the state.
As I shared about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, there's a thought exchange out there asking our community members what they prioritize for the 24-25 school year. And it was really clear. There were approximately 455 responses, and that's a really impressive amount for a survey at this point. And community members were clear. They wanted the district to invest directly in the classroom with high quality staff who reinforce fundamental academic and critical thinking skills. Programmatically, there should be a focus on literacy, math, and important life skills. Life skills coming in the form of technology, family and consumer science, and business related skills. The Board of the community members also shared that they expect and hope that we continue to meet the community's expectations by investing in developmentally appropriate class sizes at each grade band. And again, that was a consistent priority that our staff also echoed. Here are some of the comments. Again, the highest rated thoughts. These are definitely not all of them. We'll make the thought exchange in its complete form be available on our budget site in the very near future, so community members can continue to see that. You also see that this is our budget process. I've said it multiple different times. We are early on in the process. Again, the board and district is very interested in getting feedback, to continually listen and learn and create a budget that reflects our values. I frequently say the budget is a story, and you meaning the community and our school members and stakeholders are a part of that story. Your expectations for our schools are important to us, and tonight was a beginning or a kickoff to where we can continue to listen and learn and create a budget. You'll see on February 5th, the non-instructional budget discussion will begin at a Board of Education workshop. On February 13th, the non-instructional budget presentation will occur to the Board of Education. That will carry us through March 7th, where we start talking about our program and the instructional budget. In the workshop, again, these workshops are streamed as part of the budget process and throughout the year. The board wanted to make sure that these public sessions were viewable to our community. In March 19th, you'll see a continuation of the instructional budget and the first draft of the complete budget. That's putting the non-instruction and instructional budget together. And then before you know it, it will be April 17th. And we sit here in January thinking it's far off, but believe it or not, this will take shape. And by April 16th, I'll be recommending for the board to adopt the budget at the board meeting. And then there'll be a public hearing on May 7th. So many opportunities to interact and talk about budget. It will be pretty much the priority on all of our workshops and business meetings moving forward. And on May 21st, the budget vote and Board of Education elections will occur at Joanna Perry Middle School, and we'll make sure that we get plenty of communication out about that event, that very important event, because it speaks to our Fairport story and how we can continue to do great things for our students and represent our community with all sorts of pride for our school district. Again, within the YouTube live stream, there is a link to a Google form. This Google form will remain live and active. We will be checking this Google form as we move through the budget process. Currently, there are no community members here in room 512 at Fairport High School as advertised, but that's okay. It's early in the process, and we do hope to get feedback via the link that is embedded into the live stream on YouTube. Thank you very much, community, and we look forward to talking more about our schools and how we are building our budget as we move through the budget season, as we invest in our future ready Raiders. Thank you, and have a good evening.